Now, alright, by 94 it was coming out. Details, not 100%, though, that one of my female cousins was being molested by her stepdad, right? Okay. Okay. You wonder why I made that statement. Even though I was sleeping on the couch, right? In general, I'm saying I could have molested her, but didn't. Just because I was sleeping on the couch and me and my ex-wife had a fight, some men would use that as an opportunity to molest their stepdaughter, but I did not, right? It's another way to say it, right? If you find out someone in your family was being molested while she was younger, right? I don't know if the older brother was being molested or not, but it involved the gun. So I didn't even have a gun with Daphne, right? But because of SVU as well, right, the show, I was watching since 99 off and on, right? Not religiously or anything. I know. But was more than aware it was on NBC and all that. And going through its different days and different channels and different this and different that, right? I mean, and spreading out to what's the word? Started airing on USA as well, probably by that time as well. After about 5 seasons, you might be put on another channel sometimes, right? And things like that was going on with it, right? That's what I mean in general. I'm not sure exactly when, right? Either, but I really wasn't paying attention to all that at the time. But I was highly aware of the show because of what? Commercials telling you what will be on the show this weekend. Right? Things like that, right? No matter what channel you're on, though, right? And right now it's on like Ion, USA, I mean, a few different channels, right? At least two I know of, right? One that airs on Saturday in a marathon type thing, and USA has it on frequently. Almost 3 to 4 days a week. At least over two. Usually it's Tuesdays and sometimes Thursdays, right? And Sunday, alright. Right. And then I think Ion has it on Saturdays, right? And maybe sometimes up, but I'm not sure about that one, right? But at least those two channels have it on frequently, right? At least once a week, right? And that's kind of the point too, right? Now, if you're aware of someone in your family was being molested by 94, right? And you write your blog in 2005, that would be another reason to point out you could have molested your own stepdaughter because of what happened between you and your ex-wife, but you did not, right? You were on the couch, you stayed on the couch, and that's what you're implying. Hello? Now, if someone's overreacting, right? It's either Sal, her dad, granddad, or Daphne herself. Those are your only 3 options, right? Or grandma. Like I said, right? I don't know who it is, right? Unless I ran into someone on the day I fell, and instead of falling, they attacked me, right? Now, like I said, I don't know what I did that day either, right? I don't know if I jumped, if I went back on the roof, or what I did. And they don't know either, because, like I said, if I'm There's only one reason, though, I can be confronted on base, right? But there again, if I made it to Pastor Thomas's church, right? I don't know what happened there either, right? Right. Or what I said there either, right? But whoever I'm talking to about it, it would be him initially if we were carrying on a conversation about what had happened over the last 6 months, because I ain't been out to church for a while, about 6, 7 months, right? Which wasn't unusual, right? And for me, right? To not be out for. The first time I quit going out was in 91. I didn't go back out to 93, right? At all. So right. And that's when the controversy over the masturbation came up, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when I talked to. Well, might have brought it all up then. I don't know, right? Because I still knew what Richard Brand had said about it, right? And don't tell me you don't either, because Dan asked you about me, right? What you think he was doing. I think I was having a wet dream, right? And up in the bed, and he just wanted to get in on the action, right? Right. And he was trying to wake me up. Now, I'm trying to play sleep. If you wake me up or not, right? But humping the bed, right, ain't about, right, you. It's called a wet dream. And I would know that by then, too, right? This was still 90, what, 3, or 94, or 94 even, right? I don't know either. You're trying to get them to let it go. Whoever it is, they can't let it go, right? Now, all the people I'm describing, he had the biggest problem with it all. Especially when you're telling him I'm one of the two witnesses, right? I don't know. Which, like I said, whoever it is, they're doing it out of guilt, right? For attacking me. And, because he's supposed to be a pastor of the church, he's not supposed to attack one of the members of the congregation just because he believes he's one of the two witnesses either. Even his youngest daughter, who was 4 when I started going out, right? By the way, I told you that too, right? Right. His older daughter was about 10 or something, right? Maybe older than that, I'm not sure, right? But his youngest daughter was about 4, right? You see a coincidence there, right? Why? If he started going around claiming we wanted to do it, he might have a problem with it, right? Yeah. Not me so much, if you understand what I mean, right? But he also had to do something about me, thinking I was going to do it too if she was too, right? She done me. I don't know for sure, though. I never talked to him in depth about it, except maybe the 15th of September. That's what I mean, right? If I made it off the base without a shirt or my ID. So, like I said, I don't know for sure what happened, right? I can only name suspects and say I don't remember what happened, right? But nothing can be proven, right? As to who I actually interacted with, unless there's evidence from base that I called Pastor Thomas's church number. One of the dudes answered, right? So I might not have told the people up front anything, but told him everything, right? including how I got down off the roof, maybe, right? Unless, again, like I said, I was excited about it because I did jump, right? But there are four options, right? Now, if I didn't tell him, I'm testing, right? Because, see, he can't answer that question either, how I got down, right? And again, right, made it to the church, right? Which is over an hour away, right? But how'd I get back on base without, again, right? I don't know. Being spotted as being knocked out, right? Or something, right? And then dumped where I would have fell about the general area, right? And then someone found me, and I was coming to, according to them, too, right? So I don't know what all happened, right? But one's a lot longer, right? Almost over 4 hours, right? Or so, right? Including the conversation with him, right? Because, you don't just go to church and, go and talk to the pastor immediately, that's on the agenda, right? If you know what I mean. If you ain't talked to him in a while, he wants to talk to you too, right? Right. But see, his reasoning could be what? His own daughter thinks she's on the two witnesses. I don't know, I'm guessing. Unless him and Pastor Davis were, and again, like I said, right? That's the only two reasons I can think of logically is they were trying to be the two witnesses themselves, right? Right? And if they're the two witnesses, I can't be the third two witness, right? Damn. Or they're both false witnesses and neither one was the two witnesses. And I'm one of the true two witnesses, right? But they're not. Of course. They were trying to fulfill a role that wasn't meant for them to fulfill, but then Satan came along who was the chosen one by God by the dream, right? There's a difference there, right? The dream drove me in a way it couldn't drive them to learn the truth, even through the Gnostic Gospels, see? And then I reread the Bible, right? The whole thing. How many of you honestly have read through the whole Bible without confusion? Not even me, not even you. But now I understand what it was trying to say, in the old and the new. Now, if it's in both, right? It's a testimony to both the idea of the Gnostic and the Orthodox, right? But one's taking it too far, making it a sin, right? And become condemning in their nature like the devil, right? And that's the Orthodox. They also try to take it violently, right? The Orthodox are more violent than the Gnostics. The reason they won is the Emperor Constantine chose the Orthodox over the Gnostics. Silly, right? Durr. Who do you think had the final decision and the final approval of which books would be in the Bible anyway? The Emperor. Or are you just that naive to not realize that, right? And by doing that, and the Christians having an argument amongst themselves of who was right and who was wrong, right? He was able to use that to his advantage to promote the version he liked the best, right? Which is biased, right? Talk about biased a lot, right? Well, Constantine will be biased towards the Orthodox versus the Gnostic, because the Gnostics say Jesus was a hermaphrodite, right? Adam too, right? But the woman was only taken out of one man. A man and a woman could have been taken out of Jesus. Damn. And he stand alone. All three. Like Moses said, 3 appeared to Abraham and Sarah as well. In memory or wherever it was, right? And 2 went to Sodom. Not Gomorrah, Sodom. And not a reference to the character. Gamora, EJ in Guardians of the Galaxy in game and all that. Alright. And of course, you Marvel fans know about the Eternals coming up. Now, if hypothetically you're, I am aware of the Marvel Universe, by the way. Don't consider anything I come up with as anything but coincidental. It is. Just coincidental. Yeah. Because if you know about something to a point, you might can guess some of it right, like Harrison Ford coming back, even though they killed him off in the first. How'd I know that? They brought Obi-Wan back in the first one. To talk to Luke, even though dead, right? And help him on his journey to the light side of the force. Hello. Who do you think helped him the most? Obi-Wan? And then Yoda did the same thing, right? So, they're going to bring Harrison back to that. Finally convert him to the light side of the force, right? That's all I'm saying there. That's coincidental to me, too. I saw it a mile away. I'm not a mile away. The first episode when he was killed, right? Don't mean he's dead. And plus, he fully believed it in the force, right? So, Obi-Wan was brought back. Suppose that to me. 1 plus 1 usually equals what? 2. 2 people were brought back who died. Obi-Wan and Yoda, right? Now you need something big to convert Ben, though, right? Bringing his dad back would be the ultimate. Right. Now my dad was also murdered, right? By some brainless asshole, right? Who brought a gun to his house and shot him for some reason, right? No matter what the story, he murdered my dad, right? So you're taking parts of my story that it was someone he was kind of acquainted with, right? And they kind of knew each other a little bit, but were probably not really that close, right? Either. I mean, like I killed my dad or wanted him to die either, because right, which would be along the Star Wars line there. But again, that's why I would think of it, right? Before you would probably, right? And be more open to that suggestion. Oh, don't worry about it. They're gonna bring him back. They're gonna bring him back. And I just knew, like with Obi-Wan and Yoda, to finally convert Ben to the light side of the Force. Well, Leia didn't technically die, though the actress who played her did, right? You know that did. I know. And that's strange too, right? Do you think someone told me? Or I'm just smart enough to figure it out? I'm like, I don't know. You're just smart enough to figure it out. There you go. And why am I doing that, right? The show I got an active brain, even though mentally ill. In 93, where I started to hear voices, and I'm explaining that too. I didn't hear them until 93. I didn't go around telling people, something's talking to me, man. Hey, what did you saying? Was that you? I know. I didn't do that till 93, right? Either. Not even to my shipmates. Because they say I went around claiming to hear voices before 93, after she died. Too. Because they're putting me on stress because they're the only ones who can mess with that thing, right? She's telling you that. If anyone's writing evil letters, it would be them, and they would have to type them up somehow. Using the typist straight on the ship, right? Which was their Yeoman third class pit officer, whatever his last name was. I forget that. Because I don't think he did it without being put under duress by Ben and King anyway, or King primarily, and then Ben was his backup or something. Because they were both trying to get me in trouble. What's another word for trying to get someone in trouble who you think is sleeping and watch but is really meditating because he also has vision problems, right? Blackmail. Who seems like if he went and got Lieutenant Guzman, he was just trying to get dirt on me. Ben. Mm-hmm. Well, I asked about it to Leap. He was still in the EMFN, right? When I first got to the ship about accidentally falling asleep on watch, we all real strict on that, right? Because of what? The problems are in school. Right. Oh, yes, easy. Sometimes I just fall asleep. Right. But yet, if I'm sitting straight up, like this, right, there's a good chance I'm just meditating. Especially if you have the drugs before he touches you, right? Which would still freak him out, right? More than anyone else. I know. And Lieutenant Guzman, not saying all Asians are in martial arts or know about meditating, may have, no. I was just meditating, right? And was testing me as equally as he was seeing the Finn would understand too, right? I think, right? But see, I didn't hear them because I had what in my ear, right? Earplugs. You also have earplugs in your ear and watch, right? Now again, that's why we couldn't hear you, even though we were in a separate part of the engineering room. I mean, the extra generator room, where the breakers were. In the front part of the ship, not the back, because there's two foreigner generators. One is at the back of the ship and one is at the front. One is on the port side and one is on the starboard side. And the one on the port side has an extra room in front of it. And we were all in the extra room, right? Waiting on the call, right? The problem is, we couldn't hear the call, right? In the other room, right? So we didn't really know all that, right? right. And then King tried to get me in trouble because again we were all resting our eyes waiting for the call, right? But not necessarily fully asleep, And then, like I said, I didn't know what to tell anybody. Then suddenly you're